You gonna let him get away with that? You gonna let this fucking punk get away with that? What's the matter? What's the world coming to?
What the fucking world is coming to? How do you like that? How's that, all right?
What's the fucking matter with you? What is the fucking matter with you? What are you, stupid or what? Tommy, I'm kidding with you. What the fuck are you doing? Are you a fucking sick maniac?
I don't know if you're kidding. What do you mean you're kidding? You're breaking my fucking...
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Harsh to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics. Follow on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. Here is your host, Ryan Samuels.
Hello, Patriots. We are back again. And there's one trend that we notice here on the show, and that is that liberals sometimes just make dumb decisions. They just make, it's almost as if it's calculated idiocracy. Like they plan on being as dumb as possible. The Chicago has a system that's in place. It's an infrastructure of basically sound equipment, microphones. They pick up gunfire, right? Now, that's the only thing that it picks up. It picks up gunfire. So if you're anywhere within the city limits of Chicago and a gun goes off, the police are immediately notified at the shots. And then they dispatch police officers directly to where the shots were. It could tell you like to the inch where they came from. So it's a great tool to have on the side of law enforcement. So if somebody gets shot, police are notified immediately. They don't have to wait for somebody to call 911. They can get over there and render care and, you know, get EMS over there, possibly catch the murder suspect or the attempted murder suspect, and resolve the entire situation. However, the city of Chicago has decided not to renew their contract with ShotSpotter. That's Mayor Brandon Johnson. He's an idiot. We'll get into that later. But here is the issue. Chicago is a city that absolutely has gun violence. It has gun problems. I mean, it's known. I think according to the statistics, it's gone down a little bit. I'm not really too sure about that. It doesn't really make that much sense. However, they have extreme gun violence there. Gangs, drive-bys, shootouts, all over the place. And again, the ShotSpotter system is a great system. Here's a video on how it works.
A gun is fired somewhere in your city. So what happens now? In the past, there was a slim chance the shooting would be reported to police at all. Even when it was, it took precious time, and there was often confusion regarding the location of the shooting and other pertinent information. At least, that's how things were. ShotSpotter has changed all that. By utilizing advanced technology honed over 2 decades, we have automated the process. We monitor gunfire activity 24/7. So if a gun is fired in any area within ShotSpotter coverage, the system detects, locates, and immediately alerts police of the gunshot. So how does it work? It starts with acoustic sensors that are placed on buildings or street lamps throughout a neighborhood. If a gun is fired anywhere in the area, multiple sensors detect and timestamp the sound. The precise location of the gunshot is determined based on the amount of time it takes for the sound of the gunshot to travel to each individual sensor, effectively triangulating the sound. The exact location of the detected gunshot is indicated by a dot on a map. Once an alert is generated, it is immediately sent to our IRC, or Incident Review Center, where trained acoustic experts then analyze each incident in mere seconds, determining if the sound is gunfire. ShotSpotter acoustic analysts receive extensive training on reviewing and classifying gunfire by distinguishing gunshots from other impulsive sounds that are not gunshots. In addition, they are trained to append additional contextual information, such as multiple shooter alerts or full automatic weapon.
So we kind of get the idea here. It's a great system, right? It narrows it down. It could tell the difference between a firework or gunfire, and it gives you a precise location so that the police can get there as quickly as possible and render aid or care or apply, I don't know, maybe put somebody under arrest. So here is the press release by the mayor of Chicago's office. City of Chicago statement on ShotSpotter contract. Chicago. The city of Chicago will not renew its contract with Sound Thinking that expires February 16th, 2024, and will decommission the use of spot shotter technology on September 22nd, 2024, which just happens to be after the DNC. So it expired. They extended it till after the DNC. I wonder why. The Democratic, National Convention Committee. What? So that's weird. We'll eliminate it after that. During the interim period, law enforcement and other community safety stakeholders will assess tools and programs that effectively increase both safety and trust and issue recommendations to that effort. In advance of the decommissioning in September, the Chicago Police Department will work to revamp operations within the Strategic Decision Support Centers, implement new training, and further develop response models to gun violence that ultimately reduce shootings and increase accountability. Moving forward, the city of Chicago will deploy its resources on the most effective strategies and tactics proven to accelerate the current downward trend in violent crime. Doing this work in consultation with the community, violence prevention, and organizations and law enforcement provides a pathway to a better, stronger, safer Chicago for all. There is no legitimate argument you can make that eliminating this is going to make Chicago safer. It's not possible to kind of make that distinction. Now, Brandon Johnson was annihilated in a press conference. I mean, he was completely destroyed. He tried to do the old Democrat dipsy doodle and not answer the question, and the press held him accountable and called him out. I mean, as they should. It's standard journalism.
But it's a yes or no question. Does it end tomorrow?
It may be a yes or no question for you. I've been clear, and so you have.
Does it end tomorrow?
I understand.
If you'd been clear, we wouldn't be asking the question over and over and over.
They're trying to ask him, the contract, this is back in a couple weeks ago or last week. The ShotSpotter contract ends tomorrow. Will the ShotSpotter program be done tomorrow? Yes or no? And they say, well, it may be an easy yes or no question for you, but for me, like, no, either it's ending or it's not. And then he keeps trying to say, well, to be clear, I'm trying to be clear. To be clear. And one of the reporters, kudos to him, goes, if you were being clear, we wouldn't have to ask you the same question over and over again. Is it going away? Yes or no?
Where is the city in negotiating a short-term extension with ShotSpotter, with Sound Thinking, to the September 22nd deadline? Are you confident that you will get there, or could this technology turn off when the contract is set to expire tomorrow?
Well, I've been very clear from the very beginning around this, and I'm still clear that as we work to give law enforcement time to draw down from this operation, that it was important for me to provide that type of runway. Look, I've made a commitment from the very beginning since I've been in office to bring people together so that we can come up with a viable resolution to matters that the people of Chicago care about. So thank you.
Conversations ongoing for the contract
As I said, I've been very clear from the very beginning of what this process entails, and that's what the process entails from what I've articulated from the very beginning.
I'm a little confused. So does ShotSpotter end tomorrow?
From the very beginning.
Yes or no?
So I
Let him answer the question.
But it's a yes or no question. Does it end tomorrow?
It may be a yes or no question for you. I don't dictate how you ask a question. So please don't dictate how I answer a question. Okay? I've been clear from the very beginning.
So if you want to provide a runway, then why didn't you announce this 3 months ago and provide that runway for the past 3 months, and then it would just end tomorrow?
The look on his face, he is so like, oh crap, that's a really good question.
Because I wanted to do it this way.
So just to
Because I wanted to do it this way. That's his logical explanation. His logical response. Because I wanted to do it this way. Because I'm better than you. Because I have power and I can do what I want. Because I'm a Democrat and I'm a minority, so there will never be any consequences.
To clarify on that last question, so Sound Thinking has agreed to an extension here.
One more time. I've been clear from the very beginning. I've been clear. And so you have...
Does it end tomorrow?
I understand.
If you'd been clear, we wouldn't be asking the question over and over again.
But you're asking him about something South.
Now, I'm trying my best to be patient here, respectfully. But it's becoming quite hostile.
It's becoming hostile. I am the victim.
The next question?
But it's
The victim. He's a victim. Like, oh my God, is the press actually trying to hold me accountable? How frickin' dare they? How dare they try to hold me accountable? So the mayor tried to extend it so that it will work for the DNC, right? That's what he wanted to extend it. ShotSpotter came back and they said, no, thank you. We're done. If you're not going to keep us, we're just going to walk away. If you're going to use this as a political tool, we're just going to walk away from that situation. Good for ShotSpotter.
On Tuesday, Mayor Brandon Johnson said he would give the technology company a 6-month extension, but end the deal after the Democratic National Convention.
Now, late today, multiple sources tell NBC5 ShotSpotter has rejected the city's offer with that extension. So where does it all stand? Let's go to our political reporter, Marianne Ahern. She's joining us now with the very latest. Marianne?
Allison and Stefan, busy afternoon. City Hall has not responded to our repeated calls today. However, several aldermen have spoken with those tied to Sound Thinking, the company that now owns ShotSpotter. Those aldermen are concerned the company will turn off the technology Friday since there's no deal in place. ShotSpotter alerts police departments to gunshots fired through acoustic sensors. That company took a stock hit Tuesday after Mayor Brandon Johnson announced he would fulfill a campaign promise and give the company a 6-month extension, but then not renew their deal. The mayor's announcement before he had a deal signed with the company.
The city has lost all its leverage when you make an announcement that you're canceling ShotSpotter and extending it until September without having a signed contract.
Likewise, Alderman Chris Taliaferro is also concerned.
It is a great loss for the city of Chicago, particularly as we prepare to go into the summer months and as we go into a Democratic National Convention already with a police department that is undersized by at least 2,000 officers.
2,000 officers because nobody wants to do the job in Chicago. This policy is one that you know about, getting rid of the ShotSpotter. Now imagine getting rid of, what else they've been getting rid of? What other policies that he's been changing? There is zero critical excuse or explanation into this situation that would justify this. Zero. Now, the city's aldermen have kind of united against the mayor, and rightfully so. I mean, this is bad for the city.
Even on the campaign trail, Mayor Brandon Johnson said that he would remove ShotSpotter from the city's budget. Critics say that the service is unreliable and leads to unconstitutional policing. Others, including police officers, say that it's a reliable resource, especially in underserved communities where the code of silence still maintains.
35 cities have already said this technology is unreliable.
In September, right after the DNC in Chicago, ShotSpotter will end. The technology alerts police in real time to locations where gunshots were fired.
I feel it is very disrespectful of the mayor to make a decision like this without even getting the input of the community.
In place since 2018, ShotSpotter costs Chicagoans about $8 million annually. City council members speaking in Inglewood today outraged by the mayor's decision not to renew the contract, saying with the department down more than 2,000 officers, many residents are not calling police.
We're here to tell the mayor that he's wrong, that he needs to change his decision and listen to the community.
Black and brown communities hear gunshots all the time. There are some communities are immune to it. So therefore, sometimes people just don't call the police. ShotSpotter saves lives. Why? Because the police will still respond to that call.
On the other side, several cities have rejected ShotSpotter because of inaccuracies and red flags.
What the Inspector General's report found is that the police enter every single situation with a ShotSpotter report, guns blazing, because they think that there's shots being fired in that moment. And in the case of Adam Toledo, what occurred is it led to that little boy, that 13-year-old boy, being shot and killed.
In a statement, the mayor's office saying in part, quote, law enforcement and community safety stakeholders will assess tools and programs that effectively increase both safety and trust and issue recommendations to that effect. Former top cop Gary McCarthy also not a fan of the decision.
I think it's a bad decision as far as catching bad guys and preventing somebody else from getting shot.
Now, we must add, in the case of Adam Toledo, a gun was found in his possession. Also, the police board.
Interesting. A gun was found in the guy's possession where they showed up for the ShotSpotter call, but they're trying to use that against them, but he had a gun. Strange.
Ordered an officer involved to be disciplined. And now the last day for ShotSpotter is September 22nd.
Ludicrous. Absolutely insane. Now, you may be wondering why they want to get rid of ShotSpotter. And that's because the mayor thinks that it's racist. That's right. The computer system that picks up gunfire and reports where the gunfire came from is racist. It marginally affects the black and brown community, he stated. It's an indiscriminate program. It just reports where shots came from, and the police go there. It doesn't matter what neighborhood it's coming from. It doesn't say, oh, this is no shots in this neighborhood. We're ignoring that. It monitors the whole city. Here's kind of just a representation of how the ShotSpotter works, and you can see just how accurate it is. So it comes up at these little red dots, and it tells you the numbers. 1 shot was fired here, 2 shots here, 8, 10, 11, 22, whatever. So this is the entire city of Chicago. 19 shots fired here. And that's exactly where it came from. Gives you the address, how many shots were fired, what direction they were fired in. if they stood still, if they were running up or running around. It's very accurate. The technology is very good. Very good. So they could turn around and say that, it's not accurate or whatever. They're going to say that. They're going to try to devalue it as much as they can because they want to remove this tool because for whatever reason, the left likes violence. They want violence. They want chaos. They want, BLM and rioters to be able to run into the streets and destroy things without any fear of repercussion. And they don't want crime to be stopped because it gets in the way of their political wet dreams. It's crazy.
The campaign promise fulfilled. Mayor Brandon Johnson is ending the city's use of the controversial gunfire surveillance system known as ShotSpotter. The city's contract with the company behind ShotSpotter expires on Friday, and the police will stop using the technology September 22nd, about a month after the Democratic National Convention. A city statement said, moving forward, Chicago will deploy its resources on the most effective strategies and tactics proven to accelerate the current downward trend in violent crime. For years, grassroots organizations targeted ShotSpotter. The campaign promised
I don't understand how anybody can think that this is a good idea. So they're saying that there has been a decline in gun crime in Chicago. And ShotSpotter was put in 2018. I wonder if there's any connection with that. Because prior to that, it was the gun capital of the gun crime capital of the country. So here's a 911. Well, this isn't a 911 call. This is dispatch of a ShotSpotter call.
All right, units in 10, Soundcast not available. Got a ShotSpotter 2503 Spalding, 2503 South Spalding, 3 rounds in the street, 10th District.
2513 South Sawyer, 5 rounds.
All right, getting an additional 5 rounds at 2513 Sawyer. 2513 South Sawyer, 5 rounds. That one's coming from the sidewalk. 02 Sampson's a moving shooter.
So you got these guys who are monitoring where the shots are coming from in the dispatch office. They're notifying to the police officers, we just had 5 shots at this address. He's moving down the sidewalk. This is critical intel when you're a police officer. When I was a police officer, we did not have a ShotSpotter system. We would go to shots fired calls all the time. I mean, all day, every day. It was like every night shots fired over this place because people were calling 911. Although it happens so often, people sometimes just don't call 911. But we didn't have intel going in like, hey, this guy's standing on this corner and he's moving down the street this way and he just fired 5 more rounds. Because now okay, if he's moving this way, I can come around this side of the building and get a line on him and stop him from shooting. He's not shooting for fun.
32s are on the box right here.
32, 10-4.
1115.
Go 1115.
Change 0 play the box. Boy Robert, 73111. Strict directive US.
All right, 10-4.
All right, 1115. Please put this one up. Edward Paul, 83219. Should be a Chevy Impala.
Edward Paul 83219. We'll get that one on the event.
X-ray 1011 Adam.
1032.
1032, go ahead.
We got some running in the East Alley, so we south of 26th Street, behind the gas station.
Behind the gas station with 26 and Kedzie. You got a description?
So they know where this guy is.
Okay, Sam, there's someone with a gray sweater, orange gloves right by the gas station, going eastbound from the gas station on 26.
Hey, Tennessee Sam, someone in gray sweater and orange gloves going eastbound.
You get a right one, hey! No problem, this is Mackenzie, right over here.
All right, rifle in hand, northbound from 26 and Kedzie. This guy in the gray sweater and orange gloves.
So they find the suspect fleeing from the scene. An officer finds him. He's got a rifle in his hands. He's letting them know. Without ShotSpotter, they never would have found this guy. Never. He just would have taken off.
He's out of the street. He's out of the street. It's off the fence.
He's hopping the fence. Where he's at now?
East Alley. It's going to be East Alley. Hop in the fence. You're East Alley off of Kedzie.
All right, East Alley from Kedzie again. 10-11 in the alley. All right, 24 here on Troy, left in the
Gray
yard.
sweatshirt.
All right, gray sweatshirt, orange gloves. The guy was seen with a rifle in hand. And 24, you saw him in the yards?
Yeah, 10-4 squad.
So they chase him down. They catch him. They recovered the rifle. And they put him in jail. I mean, how amazing is that? Think about that. The technology is a phenomenal tool, but they're just throwing it all away. And why? It doesn't make any sense. You're talking $8 million a year for the city of Chicago. That's not a lot of money.
What do you make of the decision to end this ShotSpotter contract?
This is another horrible decision by the administration to cancel ShotSpotter. In certain communities, historically, they don't call the police, and this is a tool to help the police to respond quickly to 911 calls where shots are fired so they can get there in an expeditious manner, and now they don't have that tool. When data has shown people are not calling 911. So this is something to help communities that are still afraid to call 911 and to aid the police in responding in a timely manner.
Well, and the superintendent had said he was supportive of it as well.
Well, the superintendent said he's a huge advocate for ShotSpotter. So the administration is going against the same person he just hired to police the city of Chicago, and you're going against his expertise as far as being a policeman. So I think it's sad to say, but this is another political decision and not a common sense decision.
There are those who do turn to some reports that say that ShotSpotter might not have helped as far as response time. I think it's one of those things where we have statistics that can prove almost anything if you ask for it.
Well, we know.
Yes, I mean, that's a great point by the reporter. I kind of like these Chicago reporters. I mean, if you ask for a statistic to prove one side or the other, I mean, somebody will find a way to articulate it. I mean, you cannot say that police response isn't faster when they're responding the second a shot is fired.
The ShotSpotter works in our community, and communities that have historically had violence and different problems, it has helped aid the police in helping solve crimes in our community. So we know it works. When you ask the people on the ground if ShotSpotter works, they'll tell you, yes, it does. But when you ask the advocates who have no idea what ShotSpotter does, then they're going to say, oh, we just want that money to allocate it to something else. That's where politics is getting involved in policing, and it shouldn't. We need to use the data. We need ShotSpotter. And let me just say this for the record. If ShotSpotter is so bad, cancel it now. Why you want to wait till a month after the DNC? So you want to protect the people that are coming in for the DNC and then cancel it a month after. So if it's good enough for them, why is it not good enough for the rest of the people here in the city of Chicago?
And the mayor has the right to do this without city council approval?
Well, we're going to see if the city council has an appetite to override the mayor and put something in place to keep ShotSpotter.
It doesn't. That's going to be a tough one.
Well, we're going to see what happens.
They're not going to override the mayor. It's going to be highly unlikely, unfortunately. But this is the Democrats of the world. And this is what they want. They want, I mean, every policy that Democrats institute creates more violence. I mean, if you look at the worst, most violent cities in the country, they're all ran by Democrats. Same thing with countries. Leftists, insane leftists ruin countries. There's not a history that's had a positive leftist experience. It's never happened. But Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Ryan Samuels. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Don't forget to stop by ryanfsamuels.com and pick up my new book, How to Climb the Corporate Ladder. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to The Ryan Samuels Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.